Hi, welcome to a basic training session for PYTHA. In this session, we'll be covering two functions of PYTHA. Number one, we will be showing you how you can name your block and naming of parts properly. And the second function that we will be covering today is called extend. Okay, so look, now we have a carcass over here, and you can see on my left hand corner in the project tree diagram, we only have all of them calling themselves block. Okay, this will be a headache when we move on to part list and when you go into production, because all your parts will be calling themselves block and you will not be able to differentiate them accordingly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to name them accordingly. So right now I will how I'm going to do this, I will double click on the part that I want to name. Okay, so my mouse is now over the top panel. I'll double click on this and you can see that information dialog appears. So it's called part information, and how I'm going to do it, I will just key in top, and you will have also noticed that in this part information we have the dimension of the block. So this is, you can see that such information is available here, and when I'm done with naming, I'll click OK. You will notice it changes accordingly on the left hand side. Alright, so I'm going to move on to naming the left panel, and I'll call it left, and OK. Then next I will name it right, and OK. Now the bottom panel, I'm going to call it bottom. Okay, so right now you can see all my carcass, the parts, different panels have been named accordingly, and the names over here have changed. Okay, so now we have finished naming the parts. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second function over here in PYTHA. It's going to call it the extend function. Okay, so let me just show you how we can use extend. Okay, so if I have this carcass and I want to change this carcass to a longer carcass, meaning to say I need to extend this carcass to the right. So the area, alright, you remember this word area? The area that I will be moving will be this area. Why? Because I need to move this area outwards in the x direction so that I can extend this carcass to the right. Okay, so this will be the area that will be affected if I want to extend it to the right. Okay, so we may run into another situation whereby we want to move your carcass higher, meaning say you want to build a taller carcass. Okay, so to make your a taller carcass, which area will be affected? Alright, you may ask yourself that. So this will be the area that you will need to select to extend it upwards. Alright, with this understanding, okay, we will carry on and demonstrate how we can use the extend tool. Okay, so remember, to move to the right, you select the area in red. To move it upwards, we will select the area in blue. Alright, let's close this and let me show you how we can use the extend function. So right click on your mouse. Okay, you can see this extend over here. Click on it and you will see the command line. It asks you extend parts. Okay, what is extend parts? It refers to selecting the whole carcass. Okay, so I'm going to select the whole carcass, and you can see when the carcass is selected, the whole carcass, the edges turns orange, and click enter. And this time I'm going to demonstrate extending the carcass to the right. Okay, so when that is done, you will to extend it to the right. Okay, it is called extend in area. So we will show you the first method. It's called the drag method. Okay, so I will select the area here, and you can see the red dots appearing, and when you are done, hit enter and the gizmos appear. So you can just change by dragging the X direction here. Okay, you can see you can move it in the 3 direction. I want you to select the X direction to drag it to the right. Okay, and when you're happy with it, click again and you confirm the extension to the right. So this way we can just click and drag to extend in the right direction. Next thing, I want to extend this carcass upwards, okay, upwards by 200 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is to extend upwards, and the area that I will be selecting is this area here where my mouse is encircled. So right click and we click extend. PYTHA asks extend the parts, what parts to extend at the command line. We will select everything and we click enter. Next thing, command line asks which area do we extend. Because we are going to move the area upwards, we will extend the top area. So select the top area and you will see the red points appearing and we hit enter. The gizmos appear. This time we do not click on the gizmos to detect the direction. We will control the direction using the command line here. Okay, so we will use this comma 200 because we want to extend it up by 200. You see here, why comma, we are following the convention that PYTHA gives us. Okay, dimension in X, comma, dimension in Y, comma, dimension in Z. So, comma, because we do not want to move in any direction in the X or Y axis. Okay, so we are only looking to move it upwards, which is the Z direction. And this is by 200 millimeters, and this is why we do a comma, 200. Okay, when you're happy done, hit enter, and you can see that automatically it is being moved up by 200 millimeters. Alright, so this is the second method of extension. We call it the enter method. So the third method that we're going to go through with you is called the point to point method. Okay, how are we going to do this? Okay, same thing, right click, extend. Okay, by this time you will realize that by using the extend function, we always select the whole carcass and then we select the area that is affected. Yet we want to apply the extend on, so we will select everything, enter, extend in area. So right now I want to change the width, the length of the carcass to 700. So the area that will be affected will be this area here. So I will select this area and I hit enter. This time I will ignore the gizmos and I will ignore this command line function here because I'm going to extend via this method called point to point. So what I will do, I will select the top point here, okay, the outermost point at the edge here, and you will see a red arrow appearing. Okay, I will bring this arrow, okay, to the other end of the carcass and I will click, and then you will see that a dialog box appear. Okay, remember that just now I said I want my carcass to be 700 millimeters. So right now how we can use the point to point method is after this distance is shown, we click minus 700 and you can see that the arrow shortens, okay, from all the way here to here. Let me explain to you what happens here. Okay, when I click point to point, I'm telling PYTHA, alright, this point here, I want you to move all the way to this point. So that explains the distance of 155 blah blah blah. And when I say minus 700, then PYTHA, okay, because we have moved from this point here all the way to this point here, and I want you to move back by 700. So this will ensure that my carcass, the overall length, it's now 700 millimeters. Okay, when that is done, click only X. And you can see that the carcass has been strengthened. Okay, I'll just double click over here and you can see the dimension of my top panel, okay, has been shrunk to 700 millimeters. Okay, so this is the way that we can use the extend function to make sure that it goes in the exact dimension that you want. So just now I've shrunk it to 700 in the x-axis. Now I'm going to bring it down. I'm not too sure let's bring it up or down, but I want to extend and make sure that my top, the height of my carcass will be 900 millimeters. So same idea here, alright? I'm going to use the extend function and do a point to point. So I'll right click, extend, select everything, hit enter. Alright, this time I'm going to select the top point here. Okay, click it. Okay, sorry. Let me just redo this. Okay, right click, extend, select everything, enter. Okay, what I did was I forgot to extend in area. Okay, so I will select over here. You see the red dots. Click it once, and you can see over here I will choose this point. Okay, point to point, all the way down here. Okay, alright, just zoom in a little bit to ensure I'm clicking on the right point, and it shows me that the Z direction is so much. Okay, 1018, and I'm using the same idea. Remember I was saying in this point it moves all the way down here to the bottom point. So to make sure that my carcass is 900, I need to tell PYTHA to move back by 900 by keying in minus 900. Okay, the easier way to remember is that you can totally ignore the numbers they gave you in the front here. Okay, totally ignore this and just key in minus 900, or you can, if you're using another number, another dimension that you're going for, just remember minus the dimension that you want, and you can do it easily. So when that's happened, just click only Z, and now I have a perfectly nice carcass in the dimension that I want. Okay, I can do a quick check here. Okay, I'll use the Control T, and we have this thing, this dialog box popping up, and I will show you. Okay, I do point left hand side 700, and from top to down 900. Okay, you can see this is already done using the extend function. Okay, so you may be wondering, that's quite simple. PYTHA, the extend function only does extending top and up and down and left and right. Okay, I'm going to show you that PYTHA extend function works more than that. Okay, I'm going to do a quick one. Okay, extend, select everything, enter, and this time I only want to select the front area. Enter, and look, I can move my shelf backwards. Okay, and there you go. We have some interesting shapes here. Alright, and then I can also extend it to some awkward shape. Let me show you. Extend the whole thing, enter, extend just this area, enter, and I can move it out. There you go. I have something more interesting over here. Okay, let me undo this. I can show you that, look, this is some of, I can also change it, like extending backwards. Okay, so right click and select everything. I'll just select the back area, enter, and I'll move it outwards. You can see that now this shelf changes direction easily. So you can use the extend function to, depending on the area that you want to do, and you can create interesting shapes easily. Alright, so this is the end of our extend exercise. Okay, so remember two things we cover here. First thing, how you name your parts by double clicking and changing the part names here. And you can see also the dimensions covered at the dimensions area. Alright, the second function is called the extend function, which you can see is not just limited to extending left and right, but you can use it to extend even the edges and making more complex looking shapes over here. Alright, with that, I would like to end this session and thank you for staying tuned to PYTHA Basic session. Thank you.